So this is on the fastest mode possible. At Home with Lucas here. So today we're gonna be talking about the Samsung 37-inch ViewFinity S8. Yes, I'm super excited to be putting this 37-inch monitor to the test. It is a new size for Samsung, and as we know, Samsung is willing to push the boundaries on what is too big and whatnot. So we're gonna be definitely putting the size to the test to figure out, are we getting more multitasking? Are we getting more visuals? Or is it just a little bit too much? I mean, it's only 5 more inches than a 32-inch, which everyone knows is a pretty large monitor, but it is 16:9. So it's a very, very large 16:9 monitor. And if you're coming from an ultra-wide monitor, you may have some learning curves. I am an ultra-wide monitor daily user. So for me, this is gonna be very interesting to go back to a 16:9 that is massive. This thing is 4K resolution, so it has the pixel density, but bear in mind, it is a very large panel. So that's spread out across the entire panel. So 4K may be a little bit on the smaller side. We won't know if it's crispy and good until the very end of this video. This thing only has 60 Hertz refresh rate. So that is something that we're gonna have to take note of. It is not a gaming monitor. It is a casual gaming at best is what I'm gonna call it. But once again, we won't know until we get into this review. This thing also has HDR that kicks on automatically. So it's supposedly going to give you true to life colors. That is what they're going for. This is a productivity monitor. It is designed for people who need to have their work in a large form factor so that they can really see all the details of it. It's not really designed for you to have multiple cards opened up on it, but we will of course put multitasking to the test. So in this video, we're doing a hands-on with the box, quick unboxing and first impressions on said Samsung ViewFinity S8. After that, I'm gonna be putting this bad boy to the At Home Lucas test to figure out, is it something you should buy or maybe skip altogether? I'm here for you, so don't have to waste your time buying and returning. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, let's get into this real fast. So this thing was actually really easy to set up. The stand is 5 out of 5 stars in my book. You literally just set the shaft down, turn it to the right clockwise, and it locks in perfectly. And it was packaged really nice, so I was happy about that. This is my current desk setup, my 34-inch ultra wide. We're gonna pop that out and put the new one in. This thing is so big. Like, it is next level big. It doesn't look so big on the screen right now, but in real life, it's very big. The stand is also a little bit long, so take note of that. It does fit on my desk almost perfectly, but nonetheless, it sticks off a little bit in the back. So it is not the biggest stand out there. I thought it was gonna be much bigger, but it works. Okay, let's talk about multitasking on this beast. So this is not as good as an ultra wide for multitasking, but as you can see here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards opened up. You do have to set them up in this way, like they're tiny little 16:9 cards. But once you get them lined up, it's pretty awesome to be able to just jump from all of them. It is actually very interesting, but just know that this monitor is basically like a wall, okay? So if you're coming from an ultra-wide monitor like I am, you're gonna look at this thing and go, wow, that is a lot of space. Like, it is massive. So you may get it and not want to set it up like this, and you may find that it's not the multitasking beast that you want. But for me personally, I'm looking at this going, I can make this work and I can get some productivity done on it. So it is a giant monitor, much bigger than I thought. So going from a 32-inch to this beast right here, you're gonna be shocked. You're gonna go, wow, that is, that is a lot of real estate. Okay, so the first thing you notice is that it's a little bit washed out around the edges. I do have this on the highest game setting possible. So now that we're in the actual gameplay, it doesn't look as washed out, but definitely take note of that. So this is on the fastest mode possible. So the fastest refresh rate, all that good stuff. Image quality is looking decent. It's not looking super terrible. I believe this has HDR mode that kicks on and off, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, this is a 16:9, so you're getting this perfect aspect ratio. You don't have to worry about any problems like you would if you had an ultra-wide monitor, but just know that this is not going to be the best for competitive gaming. So if you're new to competitive gaming, you should be looking for a 24-inch, a 25-inch. The smaller the screen, the easier it is for you to process everything that's going on to get the best gameplay. This is great for casual gaming. This is great for just having fun. But if you're really trying to dial in your gameplay, you want to go smaller or you want to go ultra wide. Those are the two that are going to give you the best gaming experience. But if you just simply want a giant monitor and you also want to do some gaming on the side, this one is going to be really awesome. It's definitely immersive. And if you also have a couple buddies that are going to watch you game, then obviously the bigger screen is better. The viewing angles on this thing are pretty good, but it is a monitor, so you're going to get the best viewing angles from basically from the center. So just take note of that you're not going to get the best viewing angles from all sides. So monitors are typically center focused because that's how 99% of people sit, and they look straight down the middle. So definitely take note of that. But yeah, as far as gameplay goes, visuals, this looks good. Of course, we're running at very low refresh rate. So once again, this monitor is just for casual gaming. It's not for anything other than that. And then of course you can raise and lower it super easily. Bring it all the way up, bring it all the way back down. So there you go. Then you can tilt it back, and then you can tilt it forward. So I think it looks somewhat better when it's lower. Of course, you won't be able to have your monitor speakers on your desk. If you drop it all the way down, you could put them down below or something. But yeah, this monitor is definitely on the massive side. And because it's not curved, your eye kind of bounces all over the place. So a curved monitor is going to pull you in, and it's going to hold your eyes in focus basically. Whereas this is, like I said, it's more for casual. You're just going to get your gameplay, and you're going to have fun, and you're not going to really be too picky about everything. So definitely on the casual side, more like a TV. So this is going to be more like a TV. If you're buying this for someone, just know that this is not for competitive gaming. It's not for any kind of gaming that is intense or means something. It's just for casual fun gaming. But it looks great, I have to say. It definitely looks good for what the specs are. And like I said, this is set to the max for gaming. So for gaming on this, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I give it a high 4 stars. It should be lower, but it does look great, and it is going to do the job. So if you're gaming, 15 to 20% and the rest is all productivity, this is a good monitor for you. Okay, this has picture-in-picture and picture-by-picture. This means you can plug in 2 computers to 1 monitor. So if you needed to get some serious work done and you had another person who needed to get work done at the same exact time, you could go ahead and do that. Now just take note that this is HDMI and this is DisplayPort. There is only 1 DisplayPort and 1 HDMI port. So if you have a device that has to have DisplayPort only, and you're trying to do 2 of those, you're gonna have to get an adapter or get a different monitor. But this is the best you can get right here, and because it's so big, you're getting a pretty normal looking vertical windows over here and a little bit scrunched up Fire TV over there. But nonetheless, if you had 2 computers, boom, you could do it. So yes, it has a pretty phenomenal picture-in-picture, which would just shrink this down to the corner, and picture-by-picture, which allows you to have 2 devices running at the same time. Okay, let's go ahead and switch it over to movie mode. So the controls on here are pretty simple. The joystick is actually way in the back, so you kind of have to reach up and get to that joystick. So we're gonna go ahead and switch it from gaming over to entertainment. So we'll drop it right there. And I typically like to have my entertainment a little bit more on the warm. So we're gonna drop it actually to warm 2. So when you get this thing loaded up with a movie or a TV show or a piece of content, you really can see that it is true to life. It is going to give you that imagery that you really want. And the HDR just works seamlessly in the background. So if you're buying this for entertainment sake, this thing is awesome. If you're buying it to throw your video up onto to see how it looks on a bigger scale, this thing is awesome. If you're buying it for productivity, certain things are going to be really, really good, like video editing, photo editing, because you're getting that real true to life color. So the entertainment aspect of this, I would say, is going to be awesome. You're going to be able to, of course, put multiple people around this. I honestly say this is a great monitor to go above your setup. So if you have a dual monitor setup, you throw this on the wall above, you're good to go. That's why I keep referring to it as the wall, because when you look at it, you're like, man, this is massive. The 37 inches really change everything. But if I was going to pick a 37-inch monitor versus an ultra wide, I would probably pick an ultra wide any day. You're just going to get better viewing angles. You're going to get better immersion. But if you want something that a lot of people can look at very easily, and like I said, you can put it in different places, this is the one to buy. Okay, I've been using this monitor for long enough that I think I have a full star rating. And let's just start off with the build quality. So this thing is definitely on the flimsy side, but the only time you notice it is basically from the side. If you go and grab the joystick in the back right here, you don't really notice it as much and it doesn't wobble as much. If you hit on the desk itself, it doesn't actually wobble. So I'll go ahead and hit it pretty good. It's not gonna wobble around, so it's not unstable. It's just when you get over here, it is very much flimsy and just feels very weird. So the build quality, I'm gonna give it a 4.2 out of 5 stars. The ability to raise this thing up and down is pretty good. It's not as good as a Dell monitor, but it is definitely good enough to really allow you to get it all the way up and then to simply bring it all the way back down. And I actually think this is one of a few monitors that I can say looks decent when it's at its lowest point. So definitely take note of that. This is a giant wall of a screen. And if you're coming from a 34-inch ultra-wide monitor, just know that you're gaining this top part up here. Which is not as useful as if you're gaining more width. So definitely take note of that. If you think, oh, I'm gonna buy a giant monitor and I'm gonna get more work done, I'm gonna have more productivity. No, that's not the case. And this is basically what I'm gonna keep saying is a fun monitor for just fun stuff. You're not going to get productivity done better on this than on a 32-inch or on an ultra wide. It is one of those monitors where it is so big and not curved. So I would be very interested to see what this looks like when it's curved. So maybe Samsung will come out with a giant 37-inch curved monitor, which would be more immersive. So this thing is not immersive. It is a great second monitor. So I keep saying you could probably put it up high on your wall, have your dual monitor set up below, and you'd be like, that is great to just throw something up on it real quick and take a look at it on a larger scale. So the use case for this is going to depend on each person. The pixel density, believe it or not, is not terrible. It is not terrible. I thought it was going to be a little bit worse, but it is definitely not the best. It could be a little bit better. So it could be, you know, an 8K or something, but it is not. So all in all, I'm going to say that if you buy this thing for what you know it to be, it's probably not going to disappoint. But if you're buying this thing thinking that you're going to get something that is, you know, something completely different than what it is, you may be absolutely disappointed. But all in all, I'm going to say that it is a phenomenal panel for what it is for entertainment's sake and for some light productivity and light gaming. But that is about it. So I'm going to give it a solid 4.4 star rating. And I'm going to say that It is a phenomenal giant monitor. It's definitely one that if you had, you know, several people around it watching something at the same time, it would work, no problem. But for me personally, I'm going back to the ultra wide because this thing is just too tall. Buy it! All right, there you go. That is the Samsung ViewFinity S8 37-inch beast, people. That thing is absolutely amazing. Hopefully this video helped you out. Hopefully I gave you some information that's gonna help with you purchasing or not purchasing said monitor. If you like this video, definitely hit the like button. And if you wanna support this channel and get us to 1 million, yes, we're going to 1 million subscribers. Smash that subscribe button and join the family. Tell your friends, tell your pets, tell your family. This guy's on YouTube and he's going to 1 million. Let's all get there together and build this channel up to where it should be. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next awesome video. Peace out.